Howdy, Space Rangers, Captain Phoenix here. This is also another review I'm just gonna make as quick as possible because I honestly don't feel like I can review it because I feel like I already have. Miss Marvel, the newest Marvel TV show that just wrapped up this week, and now we're supposed to wait for She-Hulk, which is coming next month. So, yeah, what are my thoughts on this show? It's exactly what I thought it was gonna be. For those who watched my video on if the Marvel formula is getting stale, welcome to a sort of part 2 of that. This series is exactly what I thought it was gonna be, where episode 1 is where we get to see what Miss Marvel's home life is. Why am I forgetting her name? Kamala's home life is. And then episode 2 and 3 are kind of the filler episodes, and then 4 and 5 I mean, 4 is also a filler episode, 5 is the plot important episode, and then 6 is the finale. And I don't know what else to say. This show is exactly how I thought it was gonna go. Mostly because it literally borrows the same plot line as Moon Knight and Falcon and Winter Soldier, beat for beat. Let me just say, it's fine. The show is fine. And considering we already saw this kind of story in Falcon and Winter Soldier and what do you call it, Moon Knight, it's not that I'm getting tired. It's just kind of getting repetitive. So let's talk about what this show did differently that the other shows didn't do before I inevitably crash both of them together, both plot lines together, and people call me a racist or a misogynist or whatever. So for one, I will say I like the representation. I like how the first 2 episodes are dedicated to showing how Kamala is a normal teen, and that this show, or at least her story, is more slice of life than Spider-Man, for example. Spider-Man, we know him as a teen and a superhero, but he does more superhero stuff. That's what we go to him for. For Kamala, we know her as a teen and a superhero, but you'll definitely watch her show for the more superhero stuff. I do feel like it was slightly more representation. Like I don't know if there's a if too much representation is a thing. If there is, call me a racist and misogynist, whatever. However, weirdly enough, when she gets to Pakistan in like episode 3 or 4, that's where the show gets like really good, and the representation is actually way more natural in that sense. It's just me, all right. It's just me. I'm just stating my own opinions here, all right. Kill me if you want, but yeah, weirdly enough, from when she gets to Pakistan and then back to America, the representation is actually way better than I thought it was gonna be, and yeah, episode 5 was obviously the big plot related episode. I really liked it. I really liked how we got to see India and Pakistan splitting and then add some superhero sprinkles in there. I love it. I really do love those stories where we have history mixed with superheroes because I like history in its own. Now add superheroes on top of history and then change the course of history. Perfection. Eternals had the seeds for it, which is why I don't completely hate that movie like a bunch of other people do. But Miss Marvel kind of did it in a way I really liked. So I really like the whole history of Pakistan, but Miss Marvel's people, alien dimension people had an effect on the splitting of the countries. Pretty cool. And then episode 6 was the big finale. What I found really interesting is that they killed the main villains at the end of episode 5. So in episode 6, it's the damage control people, the guys who arrested Peter from Peter Parker in No Way Home. I found it to be a really interesting and kind of surprised twist on like how we expected this to go, because I expected a big final battle where it was Kamala versus the dimensional aliens, the clandestines, and it was just going to be a same versus same battle. But that only really happens a bit in the last episode, and it's against Kamran, who's just like kind of emotional. His mom died, so like it's fair enough. And then she like fights the damage control people. However, one thing I do find weird is that the climax does take place in a school. Like again, it's supposed to be slice of life, but really, we're gonna have the fight at the school. I can think of better places to fight, but okay. Um, I also like how it's not conclusive like the other shows. Like Falcon and Winter Soldier, you could tell that's like a 1 season show. WandaVision is a 1 season show. Here, you feel like they could make more seasons if they wanted to. We obviously know that's not the case, as Kamala is gonna show up in the Marvels movie. But I do feel like if they went to the season 2, definitely. Like they end the season saying that she's probably gonna be a mutant or something. And what's this? And we even have like characters going to different places. Like her best friend is now going to Caltech, and her other friend Kamran is now in Pakistan dealing with the Red Daggers. I really do like the little pieces it's leaving out for future seasons to tell. I'm actually kind of interested to see where it's going. As far as origin stories go, it's the same as all the other Marvel origin stories. It's the same as Falcon and Winter Soldier. It's the same as Moon Knight. I've seen this before. It's kind of getting boring. So I really don't know what to say there, because I've already said it before in my is Marvel getting stale video. So there's nothing new I'm going to be saying by doing that. In the end, I do feel that while Miss Marvel has a couple things I do find interesting, especially like when she's in Pakistan and some cool stuff in the finale where she truly learns to unlock her power and she uses it to her full potential, thus saving Marvel some money because they don't have to use all the effects until the last episode because it's an origin story. Blah blah blah. I've done this before. I've talked about this before. Speaking of which, I'm just gonna say it. I hate how she doesn't get a full hold of her powers until the last episode. I hate how she doesn't get her suit until the last episode. I get it's supposed to be sweet how she gets her suit, but like, come on, Marvel, just use a bit of the budget. We want to see superhero stuff, and that's kind of what this show is giving me. This is what makes this show weaker than WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier, in my opinion. Because while those two shows prioritize action, this one prioritizes slice of life. However, another thing it prioritizes is being cheap. This show very much it feels like a CW slash Netflix teen show, and it boils my blood because if you guys remember in another video I made, I talked about how I hate how these teen shows try to incorporate superhero stuff, and it just comes off as no, we just want to tell a teen drama story. The superhero stuff's just there as clickbait or to distract the audience for a bit before we get into the stuff we want to talk about, which is the teen drama stuff. And this show does that to a fault. I do not like it. And again, I only liked the last couple episodes because they focus on the more superhero stuff. They focus on the law. Episode 4 focuses on Kamala's family and the alien law. Episode 5, as I mentioned, is just a full-on flashback episode. And then episode 6 is where she actually uses her powers. The first 3 are just so slow and take forever to get to the point. Again, I like the representation. I like how we get to see these people as normal people, but you can't give me episode 6, a cool finale at the school, but then you end it with the freaking TikTok. The last 5 minutes of the last episode had TikTok in it. Because of course it did. We don't have enough TikTok in our lives, ladies and gentlemen. You have to remember, this is a teenage girl, so we need to have TikTok all over the place. I swear. So yeah, I'm not saying this show is bad, and I don't think Marvel has made anything truly horrible yet. However, I do think they are on a downward decline, and I've already talked about my thoughts for where the show would go in my previous video, so go check that out if you want to know. But bottom line, Miss Marvel is an okay show. It's not the best Marvel show. I would rather watch Moon Knight or Falcon Winter Soldier. Those are better origin stories than this show. But I do like what this show is trying to do, and I do want to see this character and where they go with her. Just please, no more origin stuff. Give us what we actually want. And for those people who are complaining about her powers being different from the comics and whatnot, I cannot say anything there. I did not read the comics. I know almost nothing about the Miss Marvel from the comics, and I refuse to touch on that. But I will say they got a good actress to play Miss Marvel. She really looks good in the suit. So you know what? You win some, you lose some. In the end, this show gets like a 6 out of 10 at best, 5 out of 10 at worst. Because this feels like just I've seen this type of show before, and it's really bad because you can tell no one cares about this show. There are so few people who are talking about it, and it shows. So yeah, that was Miss Marvel, ladies and gentlemen. Next you're gonna see my Thor review, my Thor Love and Thunder review. Let's hope that movie's better, right? Right? Right?